the bad one himself. In the contemporary era, marked by technological advancement and growing skepticism, events still occur that challenge rational understanding and evoke the notion of miracles. One such event occurred on the iconic Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco, California, where a seemingly inexplicable act of intervention saved a life and left an indelible mark on the life of a young woman. The Golden Gate Bridge, opened in 1937, is one of the most recognizable structures in the world. Connecting San Francisco to Marin County, the bridge is not only an engineering marvel but also a symbol of hope and opportunity. However, over the years it has also gained a dark and terribly sad reputation due to the number of suicides that have occurred there. Sarah Jenkins, a 26-year-old young woman, was a talented graphic artist living in San Francisco. Despite her professional success, Sarah faced an internal battle with severe depression. There are so many reasons why someone isn't well, but Sarah simply didn't know how to identify what made her so discouraged about living. Feeling increasingly consumed by despair, she reached a breaking point, deciding to end her life on the Golden Gate Bridge, a place sadly famous for this type of tragedy. The place is famous for this practice of no return, or attempts at it, generally have similar characteristics. Sometimes a very loud or silent place. Others are even more supposedly painless, such as medication intoxication or poisoning, which is a complete myth, since medicine has proven that methods considered painless are in reality completely painful and agonizing. What happens is that the person who commits such an act generally has their nervous system turned off, causing them to lose their movements, but not their sensitivity to pain. But for Sarah, none of that mattered. She just wanted to get rid of everything she felt. It turns out that the biggest proof that a person who feels like taking their own life is really wrong is that the argument is usually, "I want this to end," or "I won't be able to live with this," between other similar statements. The justifications, however, are never equivalent to the fact of abandoning your own existence. After all, as one of the greatest mediums in history, the Brazilian Chico Xavier said, "Everything passes." The pain passes, the humiliation felt makes you stronger, the bullying is given new meaning, the losses are overcome, and despair becomes faith. Sarah was about to make one of the biggest mistakes a human being can make, not to existence itself. So, on a cold October night, Sarah headed to the famous bridge, overcome by an overwhelming feeling of despair. Walking towards the center of the colossal construction, she could not see beyond the darkness that enveloped her mind. Each step seemed to inevitably lead her to what she believed to be her final destination. Once hanging to the outside of the large structure, there, in between launching itself and taking its last breaths contemplating the abyss below, a figure emerges from the shadows. Beside her, a woman of great beauty suddenly greets her by name and approaches her slowly. With black hair and vibrant amber eyes, it causes the greatest strangeness that Sarah has ever felt in her life. Sarah, about to jump in, suddenly finds herself completely focused and almost hypnotized by that mysterious figure and immediately questions her. "Who are you? How do you know my name?" "Call me Eleanor. I'm sick of my other name. I didn't want to disturb you, Sarah, but they told me to tell you something and I had to come." Sarah, confused and intrigued, asks again, "Where do you know me from? I do not remember you." Then, the mysterious woman exclaims, "You know me, you think of me, and I think of you. But outside that bridge, you won't remember, and you won't even have time to discover the biggest secret of your life, not even the reason why you want to jump from up here." With these surprising statements, Sarah suddenly turns from where she was, moving her body to the inside of the bridge, and desperately grabs Eleanor, questioning her loudly. "Tell me who you are. I can't stand my life anymore. I don't know what's happening to me. If you know, tell me at once." In control of that situation, the mysterious woman approaches Sarah's face, penetrates her with her eyes, and says something that would change her life forever. "Sarah, my dear, I am the bad one. I am the darkness, the most famous being among the famous, the abyss of your mind and the desire you feel to jump off that bridge. I desire you, but you are his." Sarah reacts to what she hears in an almost catatonic way and loses the strength to support her legs, which makes her fall to her knees in front of that inexplicable figure. With the little breath she still had, and with a trembling voice, Sarah then asked the last question of that unforgettable meeting. "What do you want from me?" The woman, whose strangeness was so much, just sighs, turns her back, and says in a low voice as she walks away and disappears into the darkness, "Your God ordered me to spare her." Sarah passed away at the age of 86 in the lap of her youngest granddaughter, in peace, without pain or regrets, in front of the large family she built. Her life was long and dedicated entirely to God and to everyone in her community, whom she adopted as children